Yes. Good afternoon, great ADC, African Democratic Congress, Diaspora Network, honorable members, distinguished guests, eminent persons around the world. You're all welcome to this, what I call epic summit, epic Congress, the very first ADC Congress meeting, ADC Diaspora Network Global Party 2021. So we welcome you to this meeting. It's going to be a great avenue for discussion, avenue to reawaken ourselves again, like we've always done. This event is themed the Nigerian diaspora, Nigerian politics, the state of our nation, Nigeria, global diaspora engagement, September 2025, 2021. Once again, I say you're welcome. So we want to do like we are, and that is Nigerians in diaspora with style and class, with very unique way of doing things. So we are going to be following precise timing. Every person is going to have the stipulated time, and please adhere to that time. Also, some of the house rules include, even though we've muted everybody, but let's keep that there. Don't unmute yourself until you're asked to. Also, make your submission brief. So I welcome you again. It's a house, it's a family affair. So we will not be doing anything too extraordinary because it's the Pidgin English people will say, na we. So this is the Diaspora Network global meeting, na we. So you're welcome again. Going straight to the program, I would like to introduce my partner and my Secretary General, and the man who I'll be coordinating this program with. Is Ambassador Toklan here with us? No, okay. Anyway, so we hope to have more people join as time goes on. We're going to go to the very first agenda, and that is opening prayers and national anthem. Opening prayers and national anthem. I kindly ask, because we're not seeing people with their names, but can we have Okey Martins, Honorable Okey Martins, open the prayer for us? Then we'll go into the national anthem. Is Honorable Okey Martins there? You can unmute. Okey Martins, go ahead.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
In the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
Heavenly Father, King of Glory, we thank you for today. We thank you for ADC Party. We thank you for this meeting. We ask you, Lord, please give us spirit of attentiveness so that we understand what we're going to discuss today. And also the facilitator giving wisdom so that we will facilitate this program. For in Jesus' mighty name we pray.
Amen. Thank you very much, Honorable Okey Martins, for the opening prayers. So straight away, we go to our national anthem.
Observation, Mark. Let's ask if we have a Muslim in our midst,
okay,
who would also like to pray in a Muslim way. If there's anybody who can please volunteer, since we can't see the names there. If anybody who wants to pray in Muslim prayer should please help us with that. I don't know if I'm right. I'm sorry if I'm not sure whether you practice a Christian religion or Muslim religion. So if you can help us with that, you're on mute, sir. You are still on mute. Okay.
I'm a practicing Christian.
All right. So do we have a Muslim in our midst who can help us with the opening with prayer? Well, if we don't, then we might have to.
Okay. So let's go ahead with the national anthem. Chair, do you have that?
Yes.
Read along. Sing along. All obey to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and mind, one nation found in freedom, peace and unity. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, as a political party in Nigeria, we stand on that pledge and that anthem. Thank you very much, Chairman. So we move on to a very, very important aspect of this meeting. All of us know the great man called His Excellency Dr. Melafia Obidaya. Dr. Melafia Obidaya happened to also be a BOT member of this great party. Sadly, we lost him last week to circumstances we are still finding out. But anyway, we want to give our small human honor and respect to our honorable. So a minute of silence. Remember, it's a minute. So look your time. 1 minute of silence to our BOT, one-time presidential candidate for ADC, Dr. Melafia Obidaya. 1 minute, go. Thank you very much. That's in respect to the great man, presidential candidate, one-time presidential candidate, 2021, 2019, Dr. Melafia Obidaya, a member of ADC, BOT, and former central bank governor. So once again, I welcome those of us just joining in. This is ADC, African Democratic Congress, Diaspora Network, the Global Party Congress meeting, the first edition. So you're welcome again. No wasting time. We're going straight now to welcome remarks, and nobody does it better than our honorable chairman, the chairman, ADC Diaspora Network, my very good friend, Honorable Kenneth Bandi. Honorable Kenneth Bandi, your mic is open, sir.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mark, for great moderation up till now. Like you rightly said, we are diaspora, and one of the things that is very, very precious to us is time. Time is money. That's why we kicked off exactly on the dot. And as we have more members to join us, we welcome them. While acknowledging that the #1 problem we have in Nigeria is leadership, political leadership to be precise, it's important to say that the problem with Nigeria does not rest squarely on APC, PDP, Boko Haram, Fulani terrorist headsmen, but on Nigerians both at home and in the diaspora who could be described as complainer-in-chief. On that note, I said our distinguished national chairman, Chief Ralph Okey Nwosu, our dear ADC Board of Trustees, members here, I'll say a couple of them, including our continental leaders, our dear Continental Leaders, executive members, guests of honors and speakers, especially our keynote speaker, Honorable Collins Nweke and co, dear ADC-DN members, dear special guest of honors, and my very dear distinguished compatriots and all members of ADC. I welcome you to this inaugural ADC Global Party Congress 2021. This is very unique, but this is the first time a Diaspora Network is conducting a global congress, a Diaspora Network that is affiliated to a political party in Nigeria. It's a big privilege and a great honor for me to welcome you all to this million edition of ADC Diaspora Network Congress 2021. I'm aware that we have a great number of compatriots who are ADC-fied. That's the language we normally use for joining all the new force, or we term the third force. A lot of them are joining us for the very first time, so they might not be able to actually comprehend all we have been doing up till now. So permit me to emphasize that ADC Diaspora Network is the global arm of the African Democratic Congress Party of Nigeria, ADC for short, which is made up of the global ADC members from the continents of Africa, Americas, Asia, Middle East, Europe, and the Oceania and Pacific regions. And these are the major 5 continents of the world. I would like to use this opportunity to inform my diaspora compatriots also that ADC is currently the 3rd largest political party in Nigeria in terms of national spread and the 4th highest holding in elective office across the country. The ADC 7th zone, or the ADC-DN, was created as a patriotic duty, responsive and ingenious and pragmatic leadership of the party leadership to enable us to interface with the properly with the Nigerians in diaspora across the 5 continents of the world, with a view to cultivate and galvanize membership across international frontiers, embrace dynamic best international values and ideology as a catalyst for transformation of our dear country, Nigeria. The ADC peculiar DNA includes integrity, dignity, responsibility, transparency, endurance, innovation, and inclusion. The values are also shared. These are the values shared also by most diaspora. And that is actually the compass of ADC as we go on building this diaspora party. We sincerely appreciate the board of trustees of ADC party under the dynamic leadership of our chairman, Chief Ralph Okey Nwosu, for championing the integration of the Nigerians in diaspora into the political structure of ADC as the 7th zone of the party, with all constitutional powers that are applicable to the 6th geopolitical zone in Nigeria. So it's a privilege that we're not taking for granted, our Honorable National Chairman, and they want to assure you that we will continue to do our best, those of us who are already ADC-fied, to make sure that this view, this vision, which you champion in ADC, is not taken for granted. This singular act has opened the doors to over 20 million Nigerians in diaspora to directly participate in the political process of Nigeria. It is therefore on record that ADC is the first political party to take such initiative in the history of Nigeria. In one of the posts which went viral on social media, I stated that the problem with Nigeria is not APC, PDP, Boko Haram, Fulani terrorist headsmen, or corrupt politicians alone, but Nigerians, both at home and in the diaspora, who I describe as complainers in chief. Such Nigerians will not join APC. They will complain rightly that APC is filled with corrupt people who usually go back to their vomit as pepper soup. We rightly saw what happened a few days ago when one of such individuals went back to his vomit to test it as pepper soup. But of course, that is not our own business. It's left for Nigerians to judge how such individuals could be also trusted. PDP, they will complain, is clueless and incompetent and have not done anything for the past 16 years. They ruled since they ruled the country. Well, they might have some points there, but we'll encourage them, if they don't want to join ADC, then they should go and join PDP and make sure that they change those people, or at least convert those people to come and join ADC, so that we can also together help to rescue the country. And when you tell them to come and join ADC, which is the 3rd force currently in the political dynamics of our country, that is the correct best alternative to rescue Nigeria from the bad governance, corruption, insecurity, criminal insurgency, they will simply tell you that ADC does not have the financial capacity to upstitch those money bags. So while I agree that the group mentioned above have done us more harm than good, and we have the right to complain, please, fellow compatriots, I invite you all to actively join ADC and participate actively in the political activities to restore the greatness of our dear country, Nigeria. This is the only reason the 7th zone in our political structure, diaspora engagement in Nigerian politics, is very, very important. And it's a visionary instrument created by our National Working Committee under the leadership of Ralph Nwosu, Chief Ralph Nwosu. It's unfortunate that political corruption, criminal insurgents, terrorism, poverty, unemployment, and lack of infrastructures are synonymous with our political national life these days. Nigeria has been in great turmoil since independence, but we have never seen it so bad. Terror of all kinds, kidnapping, etc., have become legitimate business in Nigeria with governance patronage. Over 4 million persons are estimated to be in IDP camps across the country, completely abandoned to their own fate by this government. Estimated 400,000 have been killed since the APC took over the leadership of our government. Innocent youths demanding to end SAP brutality were mercilessly murdered in Lagos, in Delta State and another part of the country. Over 100 million Nigerians are living in poverty, and the country is labeled the poverty capital of this world and ranked the 4th terror nation in the world as of today. As if these troubles are not enough, we have witnessed increasing regional agitation across the country, from IPOB to Niger Delta militants, Avengers, the Uduwa Nation, and the Arewa Group, all clamoring for true federalism or the balkanization of Nigeria due to marginalization and inability of the country to deal with the worsening economic and security challenges. The injustice is staring us directly in the face. The flawed 1999 Constitution has been an issue that every well-meaning Nigerians are complaining and want to join hands with us to make sure that we change that. Today, Nigeria is witnessing her worst challenge since the Nigerian Civil War. And we are almost getting to a boiling point, and Nigerians are killed, murdered on a daily basis. No one, not even the security personnel or institution, are spared in this madness. Nigerians at home and in diaspora are bearing the burden of this shame and the liability of a near failed or failed nation, irrespective of our personal comfort and professional accomplishments in Germany or in all over Europe or all over the diaspora. Like all patriotic Nigerians home and abroad, African Democratic Congress Network is genuinely concerned about the unfortunate development in our country. And we believe that it is time for all Nigerians and friends of Nigeria, irrespective of our tribal, social, cultural, and religious affiliation, to come together and join hands with ADC to rescue Nigeria. We cannot afford to be apolitical and indifferent about what is happening in our country today. We should urgently bring the watershed in governance, leadership, and political economy of Nigeria. We must make a conscious effort to forge a great alliance, evangelize and provide Nigerians with credible leadership alternative under ADC. Nigerians in Diaspora Commission was established to help organize and rally around Nigeria in diaspora with a view to helping to foster socio-economic and political change. Unfortunately, this has been hijacked by the ruling APC cabals and the cabals running Nigeria, running them into ulterior motive and using that as a personal aggrandizement. However, the good news is that ADC-DN has now offered Nigeria in diaspora a platform to engage with Nigerians back home. Through the Diaspora Network, you can now deploy the great resources of the diaspora, which are human and financial capital, for the well-being of our people, at what level, local level and state level, through capacity building, educational and medical missions to Nigeria, as well as offering legal services and representation, etc. These critical human development elements are beyond politics, but for the well-being of our people, we need to get engaged. We believe that to successfully address this crisis confronting Nigeria and to rejig our democracy, patriots at home and abroad must come together to engage in the most fundamental aspect of political and democracy, including joining to build a political parties, creating enduring philosophies, ideologies, values, and strategy. To achieve any successful change in the current political dispensation of our sector, it requires stakeholders to buy in on these above-mentioned issues. And the diasporas are one of the most critical stakeholders in this quest. We cannot continue with the ad hoc approach of being invited from the diaspora to contest for political position 3 months before each election, hereby putting ourselves into serious disadvantage. ADC-DN members recognize the need to involve in creating the ground norms and political culture that will enable all stakeholders to work in harmony to achieve our democracy for the progress of our country. Today is the time. Tomorrow might be too late. Again, I welcome you all to this inaugural edition of ADC Diaspora Party Congress 2021. The Congress is packaged to give us an insight into what we must collectively do as ADC 7th region and ADC party to restore Nigeria to this past glory. We hope to see diasporans in thousands join hands with ADC to rescue Nigeria after this seminar. Long live ADC, Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to address you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ADC-DN National Chairman. That's no other person than our own Honorable Kenneth Gbandi. Honorable Kenneth Gbandi, thank you very much, sir. He said a lot, but to add to what to give a brief background to all he has said is Honorable Kenneth Gbandi has given us the values and the core mission of ADC as a party. He also told us how ADC-DN appreciates the headquarters in Nigeria for involving the DN, the diaspora, Nigerians in diaspora that has close to 20 million people, involving them in the political plan of Nigeria. Also, our chairman has also highlighted on the fact that there are a group of people known in Nigeria that are called complainers in chief, and they do nothing but to complain. It is time to leave the complaint and join the mission. Our chairman also told us of the plans, future plans of ADC, because at present, the government in power, APC, is not bringing more progress, rather causing more problems. And the brunt of the problem falls back on the Nigerians in diaspora. So, and this is why it becomes very necessary to be part of policy making, political actions in Nigeria. Our chairman has also given us highlight on how we can't afford to remain neutral. We can't afford to be mute in all of these occurrences happening in Nigeria. Also, he gave us a highlight on the fact that Nigeria has been ranked as the third poverty capital of the world. Nigeria is not getting better, rather retrogressing. So with all this in mind, we want to say thank you very much, Honorable Chairman Kenneth Gbandi. That's a great insight and a wonderful speech. We are moving forward, and we have our keynote remark, our keynote address. With us is our great minds. With us are people that are making great strides also in their various capacity here in Europe. Nigerians in Europe are doing great things, believe me. And it's an honor also to have these people, personalities in ADC-DN. So giving our keynote address is one of us, an opinion maker for Brussels Times, a Green Party municipal legislator, and a man that is full of wit and sense. Is no other person but my very good friend, my brother, Honorable Collins Nwosu. Honorable Collins Nwosu, you're welcome, sir. You have to unmute.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you so very much, Honorable Mark Godwin, for quite a copious introduction. Sometimes you introduce somebody in such generous manner that the person begins to look around, to be sure that it is still the same person you are talking about. In any case, I appreciate your generosity and your kindness. I want to stand by the protocol already established by my good friend and political wizard, Honorable Kenneth Gbandi, who has energetically galvanized the Nigerian diaspora behind this project that he feels very, very passionate about. And why not? I mean, it is inevitable, to want to be part of, this new wind that ADC has allowed to blow, across the continents outside Nigeria, trying to bring Nigerians together. Now, if I may take us back to memory lane, Nigeria has had a very lukewarm attitude towards engagement with its diaspora until about the year 1999 and then 2000, when in the interregnum between the election of President Obasanjo as the first civilian president after the brutalities of the military era. So between his election and taking office, he made a tour of the world and was amazed not only at the quality, but also the quantum of Nigerians based outside Nigeria who are not in any hurry at all to return back to Nigeria, even on his invitation for them to come and join his administration. I mean, these are the sort of opportunities that people, jump to. But it was amazed to find that these Nigerians are very well settled in wherever they are, actually being decision makers and actually helping to move the economies of the different countries they are in together. And so the newly elected president, the president-elect Chief Obasanjo, then began to think of, okay, these Nigerians aren't ready to return back, not because they are not patriotic, but because they are very much busy doing one thing or the other where they are. However, there must be a way to get them involved in the Nigerian project. And so he decided on this idea called Nigerians in Diaspora Organization, an organization that is meant to be an official partner of government in relation to diaspora matter. Now, allow me to pause here and make a passing remark, because when you talk of ADC-DNA, it's not a loose concept. It is something that has roots somewhere, because the same Chief Obasanjo that we're talking about, if you analyze the ADC-DNA, you will probably find traces of the same Chief Obasanjo in the coming to life of ADC. Now, that was how the official engagement of Nigerians in diaspora in the Nigerian project actually emanated. More than 20 years after that exercise, they managed to then establish a commission, I mean, short of a ministry, a full-fledged ministry like you have it, in a few countries, even smaller nations within Africa. They managed to set up a commission, the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, that is meant to then seal that engagement between the government of Nigeria, and that is the people of Nigeria, and its diaspora. Well, our able chairman, Kenneth Brandy, made reference to the fact that that policy instrument, NICOM as it is called for short, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, has turned out to be something different from what was initially envisaged, what was initially anticipated. Now, the reason I'm tracing this, short history is to actually make one point clear. And that point is, when a major political party in Nigeria decides that there needs to be a genuine engagement with Nigerians, well, it is not surprising that Nigerians in large numbers are answering that call. And that is exactly the call that the ADC-DN, Diaspora Network, has actually put out to Nigerians, and it is resonating. It is resonating because when you look at a roll call of Nigerians that are not just registered members of ADC Diaspora Network, but are sympathizers one way or the other to the initiative, you will be amazed that it covers the who is who in Nigerian diaspora. And so this is major. It is major and it has to be built on. Now, that is not to say that all the issues are sorted out. No, certainly not. There are still those who are sitting on the fence for one reason or the other. But the reason they are sitting on the fence has absolutely nothing at all to do with ADC or ADC Diaspora Network. It has something to do with a fundamental flaw that is in the Nigerian politics. And that is the big question. Do votes count in Nigeria? Now, if there are people who are holding back about engaging with ADC, it is simply because they believe that the way the Nigerian politics is constructed as of today does not give room at all for integrity. It does not make for those who are really serious-minded to be engaged in politics as we know it in other parts of the world where we are living in, because it is tilted actually to fail on arrival. And so that doubt is there, but with that doubt, certainly does not mean that the ADC or those that are sympathetic to it or those that are actually involved in the party would have to go silent and not engage. Certainly, they need to engage, but it means that they've got some work in their hands. And I'm going to spend the remaining part of my keynote address to make some very, very concrete recommendations on what I believe that the ADC should concentrate on if it wants to be purposeful, and I believe it does want to be purposeful, and if it wants to be able to attract those that are sitting on the fence, because it is not about those who are already part of the ADC family. It is about those that ADC has not managed to reach. And so these recommendations are aimed at that. And they are in two strands. Recommendation number one, that is the first strand, and perhaps the shortest and the easiest, is that ADC Diaspora Network has got to consider setting up what I call shadow cabinets. Now, shadow cabinet, in my definition, actually means that for every ministerial post, every ministerial position in Nigeria, the ADC Diaspora Network has got to appoint a single, credible, knowledgeable individual within their membership to actually be the watch person over that ministry, study their policy, if any policy actually exists, because it will surprise you that, those ministries, they just operate without, necessarily, doing what they ought to do. So they need to study the policy and be able to support initiatives coming from those ministries, but where necessary, criticize them. But please, before you criticize, you have to ensure that you have a credible alternative. Otherwise, you can as well simply shut your mouth. So constructive opposition, very, very relevant. And that is the role that this shadow cabinet that I am proposing would have to fulfill. Now, that is the first strand. And then the second strand of my recommendation to ADC Diaspora Network is, in your first years of existence, I believe that the major priority in your hands is to ensure that Nigeria has an electoral act that is fit for purpose, because the Electoral Act actually governs the game of politics itself. And when you have an electoral act that is not fit for purpose, as it is the case with Nigeria, there is no faith in politics. And if there are some people sitting on the fence in terms of, joining hands with ADC Diaspora Network, it is precisely for the reason that the Electoral Act as it exists today is pure nonsense. Now, what do you have to do? I believe, and these are the details, I believe that recently we saw the passage of the Electoral Reform Act 2021. Now, the act had, the bill, as it was before it was then passed into law, making it an act, in itself was an exercise in shambolic politics. Why do I say this? I say this because as we have it today, the lower house, the House of Representatives, and the upper house, which is the Senate, actually have passed two different versions of one single act. I mean, how can you explain that anywhere in the world? Yet, they are meant to have a process, a harmonization process, that actually bring the two, conflicting positions together, harmonize them, and come up with one. And what is the bone of contention? The bone of contention, I mean, quite apart from diaspora voting, is electronic transfer of election results. Now, while it is claimed that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is an independent body, and the word independent managed to find its way into its name. But the situation as we have it today is that the president, whom we know because he has not left us with any other alternative, is a highly partial human being. Partial because, I mean, he has his leaning towards specific, ethnic group, friends and allies. And INEC appointing people into critical positions, and these people are known to be highly partisan, card-carrying members, or at least proposing them for appointment. These are very serious anomalies. These are the sort of things that our friends and allies outside Nigeria read about, hear about, and they laugh at us. ADC has a very critical role to play in terms of coming up with the alternatives, but not just coming up with those alternatives, you've got to devise series of sharp arsenals to unleash these policies that you churn out. So it's one thing to churn out those policies, but it is another thing to communicate effectively and actively on those policies. So the media aspect of your work, beyond the social media, is also very, very critical and actually aligns very seriously with this aspect of your work around electoral reform. So you talk about it, you beat the drum about it, but you make sure that you deploy the right strategy to ensure that your opinion matters. Those opinions cannot matter if they are not effectively communicated about. And so you have to begin to devise a very effective media strategy to be able to tell your story. Unfortunately, time is not infinite. I know that mine was very meticulously counted. And so on that note, I want to hope that I have left you with a few things to think about. And maybe when you retire into the inner caucus, that you can then begin to hang some flesh on the skeleton that I have just dropped for you. Thank you very much for the invitation to speak at this event. I am proud to be one of the history makers, because this is a history-making event, the first global General Assembly of a Nigerian diaspora, party event. I'm happy and very proud, to be part of it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Collins Nweke. You have done justice to this keynote address. Thank you so much. Yes, for the benefit of those that are just coming in, we see more people coming in. For the benefit of those coming in, that was Honorable Collins Nweke, a Brussels time opinionist and a Green Party municipal legislator. Honorable Collins gave us highlights to a concept, an ADC concept. He said ADC is not on the loose concept. ADC is resonating all over the world. ADC covers, this is like a good news. ADC covers the juggernaut. ADC Diaspora Network has the juggernaut of Nigerians in diaspora. That's a remarkable observation and a great one, a great pass for us. Honorable Collins Nweke also gave us a recommendation to what he thinks could be an option to what is going on in Nigeria. And for those, some of us that are from the UK, we understand what it is to have a shadow cabinet. So Honorable Collins Nweke said ADC-DN could have what you call shadow cabinet. And many of us government students understand what that means. This shadow cabinet could be picked, like he said, here in Europe. This shadow cabinet person will also criticize, constructive criticism of operations of the so-called minister or the so-called the officer in Nigeria, and also study patterns, study activities of the minister. This shadow cabinet will be doing this. Honorable Collins Nweke also told us that to ensure a purposeful electoral act, that the ADC-DN should also be involved in what is going on in Nigeria. Honorable Collins Nweke finally said, a lot of people look like they are sitting in the fence. The Nigerians in diaspora look like they are sitting in the fence. But he said it is up to us now to make it a tax to get those people sitting in the fence. Sitting in the fence has not given anybody results. So it's a tax we must accomplish, and it will be done. So with that, I say thank you very much once again, Honorable Collins. We're moving forward, no time to waste. We have our keynote remark also. I want you all to sit back, listen to great minds speak. You know, back home, when knowledgeable people talk, the younger people will just learn, because the person speaking is not just speaking out of talk, he's not just talking, he's speaking from experience. Now, our keynote remark is coming from an experienced person, an honorable person that has been there on the field. This is bringing in His Excellency Ambassador Joseph Ayenlogu, a former permanent representative of Nigeria in the United Nations in Geneva, and former ambassador of Nigeria in Switzerland. He's also a BOT member of NIDO, Europe, and now a Board of Trustee member of ADC-DN. So, Honorable Ambassador Joseph, you're welcome, sir. The mic is yours, sir. Yes, you have to unmute.
Yeah.
Good.
Am I heard?
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
Thank you, moderator. Thank you, Chairman. Well, I'm happy to be here, to have been invited. Well, it's always a hard task speaking after my friend Collins, who is a political person in the in the sense that he works on it, he lives on it. And he's covered quite a lot of grounds. I will just probably emphasize on some of them and share some thoughts. Well, we know that, first of all, is that I would say that we recall that the key reason why the President Obasanjo initiated the concept of engagement with the diaspora was for the purpose of development. But somehow people think that when we talk of development, it's just about bringing in money, about building houses, whatever, technology transfer that, of course, the diaspora can come in, bring in. But they miss the aspect that an element of development is political development. You can't have economic, social development without political development. So we must get that. And unfortunately or incidentally, what we note is that our people at home, or the Nigerians in Nigeria as against the Nigerians in diaspora, think, okay, well, you people, you're doing good, bringing your money, 20 billion, whatever, you participate in, community activities, but stay clear of politics. It is hard to say so but that's what is happening. This is why we have, relevant authorities still arguing about whether there will be a diaspora voting or not. I mean, diaspora has to be part of the politics of the country. You have to vote, be voted for, so that you can bring in that knowledge, that experience that diaspora of necessity have gathered from outside. You have to bring it in. You have to be part of the politics of Nigeria. So I would make that point so that it doesn't, nobody should be in doubt whether you are in diaspora or you are in Nigeria. The diasporan being part of the political process, that is his responsibility, that is his privilege, that is his everything. So nobody should try to exclude the other one from doing what he wants to do. So right away, we should put an end and resolve the matter of diaspora voting. Why I consider the diaspora voting important is that ADC, ADC has done well in realizing the potentials and the need of engaging with diaspora. And we can even turn up and with effective engagement, there would be successes in that respect. But it's important that that engagement leads to making the ADG rise from the third or fourth party to become the party that wins big elections. And you can only do that with numbers. So we are supposed to make ADC be able to gather votes from our support, not just support, but support that is articulated by way of votes from our outside diaspora, and of course, an effective sensitization process or political process that makes it have its outreach at the community level. The diasporans also have a role to play there. I think these are some of the general key points I want to make. We already know the state of things in our country. We know that the failure of politics, and let me say that politics links with good governance, because politics leads to good governance, politics leads to stability, national stability, and so on. And these are all necessary conditions for delivery of public good and for what we would see as development. So that these are also quite key to emphasize here. So I would say why I've gone this length or this way is to make everybody feel, make the diasporans know that it is their responsibility, that there is no need standing on the fence, there is no need pussyfooting about the whole issue of engaging politically in the development of Nigeria. This is why I am, to send that message to our colleagues in diaspora, all of you, all of us, and then also to send a message to the Nigerians in Nigeria that, look, you can't have your cake and eat it. You can't be wanting the goodies that come from the diaspora and you deny them their key privilege of every human being, that is to be part of its politics, part of determining who governs him, how he is governed, and all that. So these are very clear matters, and it must be asserted that once these two parties groups, that is Nigerians in diaspora and Nigerians in Nigeria, understand the interplay of these groupings in the area of politics, then we begin to appreciate each other and allow each other to play. It bears mentioning that little matters, or something that look like little matters, like even activating the NIDCOM board, which is also meant, government intended for that to be a robust way of getting the Nigerians in diaspora to play a role, even in governing that process of engagement, is now frustrated or diminished because of a failure to have a proper board to bring both to advance the cause of the diaspora engagement, whether political or developmental. So let's say I've touched on I wanted to touch on the state of politics, but we already know what it is. We're not happy with the state of politics in the country. There are two major political parties that have handed batons to each other. They haven't done well in their own runs. There has been a big shortfall that has led to a placement of a politics of greed, a politics of self-interest, instead of being a politics that pushes for public good, for the good of for the interest of the electorate. We have had this nature of politics, and of course it translates into what you might call do or die politics and all that. Largely because the dividends of rough politics seem to be quite high. It translates into rigged elections. These are the things that must stop. These are the things that, by diaspora active engagement in politics, we will see a diminishing. I know that people say, well, when the diasporas come in, they do just like Nigeria. But I believe that with a lot more numbers of diaspora participating in all the processes of politics in Nigeria, both desensitization, both vying for political posts, and voting for political posts, and the scenario will gradually change, and that's what the benefit that a country gets by active engagement with the diaspora. Well, I have mentioned somewhere earlier, a little bit earlier, that that ADC is taking a good step in actively seeking to engage Nigerians in diaspora and finding the right persons to do it. And I should urge that they continue. I see that it will yield good results, but it's important that we make these results translate into votes. Into votes, in that diaspora, there has to be structures for members at the Nigerians in diaspora to participate actively in sensitization, both in their communities. I think that was mentioned somewhere, sometime one of the activities we had before. Yes, you now, as you are bringing money to your community, your family, let them know that, look, the party that that third force must be the ADC. We shouldn't shy away from that. We shouldn't say, we're giving you money, no problem. I'm not saying you will say it's a tight quid pro quo, but people should know that just as you believe, you are suggesting that your brother, not just suggesting, pushing for him to study and do this, build a house, do business. He should also know that his politics is important and that he has to vote for the correct party that has devised structures and arrangements for taking Nigeria beyond what it is now politically. Voter education, thorough sensitization, and all that are things that the ADC will drive and push, and the diasporas will support in doing so, making sure that by the next election coming up, we will now know the impact will be felt on the electoral voting system. I agree with Collins that there has to be, between now and when the election takes place, the federal election takes place, there has to be a lot more to be, the Electoral Act has to be made more relative to the current needs. We were arguing whether there should be electronic information about election results. I wonder who argues over that sort of thing. It doesn't make sense. It's almost a given. So these and so many other things ought to be corrected. Well, I will try to stop here. I don't know what my time, maybe I've used it up or I've used less, but I think it's important to simply say that diaspora engagement is an imperative. I mean, diaspora participation is an imperative. It's a good thing for the country. It's a win-win for the country, both the people in Nigeria and Nigerians in diaspora, because everybody wins by active participation of diaspora in Nigeria. And we need to make sure that we get to vote. Nigerians in diaspora get to vote in 2023. That's very important. That's what has to be pushed. We know that a lot of people who feel worried that about the impact of that huge, dynamic, articulate voters group might change the dynamics of politics, rock the boat, I would say, against it, but we don't care. We shouldn't care, because obviously there is an advantage in doing so. So I would leave this point on the floor, and thank you again for inviting me to this to share a little bit of my thoughts. I thank you, Chairman and Moderator.
Thank you very much, sir. That's His Excellency Ambassador Joseph Ayenlogu. Thank you so much. Former Permanent Secretary, Representative of Nigeria to the United Nations. We've had some real good, it's like a classroom. classroom of knowledge-based discussion. His Excellency has given so many insights. An aspect of development, he said, is in political development. The diaspora being part of the political process is our privilege and right. So we really need to enforce our voting rights as diasporans in Nigeria. His Honorable also made mention of ADC engaging very well with the diasporas and making ADC to be to also add their part into the discussion of voting, to get voting rights. His Honorable talked about rigging of election in Nigeria must stop, and one people that can also help in that the plan is the diasporans in Nigeria. He said the more the numbers of diaspora, the more we can change the narratives of rigging, electoral malpractices, and all those things. Our Honorable has also told us that our country, obviously, like we all know, is not in a very good shape now. We are all not happy about the politics of Nigeria at the moment. It is a politics of self-interest, politics of nepotism, we will call it. So he said, our goal, our good results must add to our votes. Our good results as ADC members in Europe must add to our votes. Also, our Honorable talked about how government crafted out the NIDCOM body, but NIDCOM is not doing enough. And we hope NIDCOM will also hear this. So we need to do more. There's so much more to be done. And ADC as a political party, as a group of juggernauts, like Honorable Collins Nweke said, we can help to do more, to bring more progress, because it's just a field of intellectuals and knowledgeable people. So we are out for this, and we hope government will begin to realize the importance of bringing the diasporans, ADC diasporans, into government policies. Thank you once again, Honorable. Thank you, sir. So we're moving on. We have our keynote remark number 2, but unfortunately, our brother and Dr. Israel is not here with us for some reasons that has been stated. So we will move the keynote remark number 2 to the other short remarks. So please, I beg the gentlemen, honorables that will be coming in, this point in time, it's going to be very brief so that we can really catch up with our timing for today's event. So we're going to go into short remark. The number 1 short remark will be coming from an aspect of ADC is the youth. The youth plays, like we all know, plays a major role in Nigerian governance. And the youth also they are more in number. Nigeria has said that it has 75% of its population as youth. That's number. We don't want to play with that number. So representing the youth with us today is our youth leader, ADC headquarters in Abuja, Nigeria, youth leader Barrister Maurice Ebem. Barrister Maurice Ebem, I hope you're here. Barrister Maurice Ebem will be speaking on youth, the pancreas in deepening our democracy. Barrister Maurice Ebem is the national youth leader of ADC, and he's also presently interim chairman of Forum for Youth Leadership of all political parties in Nigeria. So he's sitting on a very vital office there. Barrister Maurice, are you here? Can you please indicate? Barrister Maurice. Okay, I don't think Barrister Maurice is here with us. Anyway, we move on.
It was here before. Probably he hasn't some technical issues, so we can move on to the next one.
Okay,
if he's there, he can take the cue.
Yes, yeah. Short remarks and input. Ms. Ebere Gomwok Ijeri. Okay, yes, what we are going to do for this is we are going to listen to an audio message of her speech. That's Ms. Ebere Gomwok, an audio message of her speech. I'm going to play it here and hope that we all hear this. Okay.
I want to add that Ebere is here with us. You can see her on the forum, but because she's currently a nurse and she's working in the office, she cannot speak because of her patient, and so she sent us a recorded speech. But Ebere is here also listening to us.
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
I hope it's...
I'm Mrs. Ebere Gomwok Ijeri, based in Switzerland, a scientist, a researcher, a businesswoman, a writer, an entrepreneur, an advocate for good governance, a registered member of ADC Diaspora Network. I'd like to thank Dr. Ralph Okey Nwosu, National Chairman, Mr. Kenneth Gandhi, our Diaspora Network Chairman, all distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and all the participants. My 5 minutes speech is on the role of diaspora in nation building. I prepared the vocal message because I'm actually going to work. So I said, if I couldn't be here physically, I would be able to still present my short speech. State building in an environment of crisis requires measures in the national reconstitution, rehabilitation, and economic growth process. This has made African governments recognize the importance of citizens abroad in national and regional development. Some countries like China, Korea, and India have shown that diaspora contributes significantly in transforming an economy. They have shared initiatives between the diaspora and the government to enable growth in their countries. You can see how China, Korea, and India in the last 50 years have gone from a third world country to a first world country, especially China and Korea. Hence, diasporans should be considered as development partners and not just as sources of financing. Up to today, there's a mass exodus of experts, which are what we call brain drain, from African countries, and this has resulted in deep-rooted depletion of human capacity and weakened institutions in Nigeria, for example. Nigerians in diaspora have a high contribution to the national economic growth process through remittances and knowledge as well. There are platforms in Nigeria as well in the diaspora who are actively involved in national building. ADC Diaspora Network is one of them. We have the needle and also the lead. As diasporans, we need to ask ourselves what our role is. Is it to contribute to the downtrend we have now, when Nigeria is at the top list of corruption and terrorism? Let me take these as example, despite the long list of things we are known for out here. Or is it to take up the mantle and be a channel for the manifestation of that hope that we all harbor and pray for, to build a nation that is made up of knowledge and selfless leadership that builds its citizens? Men and women who are led by service, not by power or material greed. We have been exposed to a different way of doing things abroad. So those of us here are expected to know better, because we can compare, evaluate, analyze what works and what doesn't work. Hence, we realize that certain things can be done better in our homeland without adopting a foreign culture. We can adopt ways that are exemplary, and we are in a better position to apply what would work towards having an effective and progressive nation. We have Nigerians in diasporans who have a vast reservoir of knowledge, skills, and experiences that can develop our nation. It is estimated, and I believe it is much more than that, because these figures come out from statistics done a few years ago, there are up to 50 million Nigerians in diaspora. The remittances as of 2005 were over $5 billion yearly sent. So you can imagine how much in 2021, how much is being sent to Nigeria yearly. This is mostly sent to alleviate poverty. If we in diaspora could collaborate more effectively with the Nigerian government, I believe we'll be able to achieve more towards nation building. A few questions could be asked. How are we perceived by the Nigerians back home? Many of us are known and seen as money bags. Most of all the money we send back home is used on the personal level, and very little goes towards nation building. So we need to be more strategic. ADC has created a platform for this, where Nigerians can be actively involved in nation building by being active politically as well, being able to vote or be voted for, being able to be a voice towards policy making and contributing towards the affairs that concern our nation. Once this is encouraged by our government, more diasporans will get involved in Nigeria, because we have long awaited for a trusted platform to be able to contribute towards building our nation. What are some, not all, of the ways we could enhance this? First of all, if we could collect data of all Nigerians in diaspora, that would be also a way of knowing how many of us are out here. By also our governments using highly skilled professionals in diaspora nation building and effectively using them towards nation building. This is being done by the Sierra Leone president, actually, where he goes out in diaspora and fishes out experts, highly skilled individuals, creates a platform for them in Sierra Leone and brings them back home. Experts can even work from diaspora in Nigeria. You know what I mean by that. Because as long as the environment is not conducive and safe, many of us in diaspora are afraid to go back home. The government needs to be able to create that conducive environment which encourages diasporas to get involved, as well as facilitating the influx of remittances into the country. Presently, we in diaspora have difficulties even sending money to Nigeria with this present government. This has also increased poverty in Nigeria instead of alleviating it. And much more, if wishes were horses, and they are, because nothing is impossible. Impossible is dead, as one of my very close friends would say. What a man can conceive or believe, he can achieve. These structures that exist like NIDO, ADC Diaspora Network lead, are one of our platforms that we all should also get involved in diaspora to be able to contribute towards nation building. As a registered member of ADC Diaspora Network, I can proudly say I do not regret my actions, and I found a platform where I have met men and women of integrity who are already building the nation in their own way through the platform and personally. If we could all get involved, get registered, create that change we want to create, instead of complaining and watching and waiting for the government as well. Once we all get involved, we will see that that change that we all hope and pray for will happen. Change starts with us. Once again, I would like to thank the National Chairman, Dr. Nwosu, ADC Diaspora Network Chairman, Mr. Kenneth Gandhi, all distinguished speakers and participants. Together and united, we shall rebuild the Nigeria of our dreams. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless ADC. God bless the Diaspora Network. Thank you very much. I humbly remain Mrs. Ebere Omwok Ijera. Thank you.
Wow. That's a beautiful one. Thank you very much, Ms. Ebere Gonwaki-Jerry, a senior nurse, a scientist, researcher, writer, and president of ASUS in Switzerland, board member of ADC Diaspora and Kitchen Abuse Foundation and Kitchen Heaven movement. Thank you very much. That's wonderful things, wonderful words of encouragement. There's something I took out of what she said, and that is, she said, ADC has men and women of integrity building nations in their own space. That's so encouraging. It's one word that will live on even after this program in me. Thank you once again, Madam Ebere. So we're moving on to the short remarks and inputs. We also have with us, if I may know, is Barrister Morris back now? No, Barrister Morris is still not with us. So we move on to our speaker, Simeon Peters, former student leader, UNN. Simeon Peters is an initiator of the Light Bearers Generation Group, LBG. Simeon Peters is speaking on Nigerian democracy and purpose of driven generation. Like we said, ADC caters for youths, and Simeon is one of these pillars. Simeon, are you there? Honorable Simeon. Okay.
Unmute yourself, Simeon, please.
Oh. Do it again. Good.
Right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Okay. All right. I want to thank and really appreciate everyone who's here. I want to honor Dr. Ralph Okey Nwosu, who is the ADC National Chairman. I want to also recognize and honor Sir Kenneth Bandy and every other distinguished ladies and gentlemen in this platform. All right. Okay, just not to waste much of our time, I'll be speaking on Nigerian democracy and purpose-driven generation. All right, so I had to go and actually carry out a research in regards to the current state of our generation. And I actually found out a couple of things which I want to share with us. So first of all, the popular picture the world holds about Nigeria, and by extension, Africa, is often painted with the brush of poverty, crime, corruption, and illiteracy, dictatorship, and hopelessness. And I carried out a research and found out by the UN and the World Bank that they estimated 1.2 billion African and Nigerians are about 50% youths. And these 50% youth are less than 25 years old. And 75% are less than 35 years old also. Now, out of this youth population, 37% are in the working age bracket, even though 60% are unemployed. So, and then also on average, females make up more than half of Nigeria's population. So this implies that development of Nigeria and by extension Africa has gender implication and youth empowerment tied to it. Now, if we ignore these statistics, we would literally, in future, see a modern day crisis and collapse of a nation. Now, it's very important that we pay attention to these statistics. Very important, because we have a crop of youths who are emerging, who are educated, but do not sustain a system to employ their mind to get involved in building a nation. And one of the things I have discovered about youths is that if you don't train them and equip them to solve problems, they become the problem of a nation. Now, it's very, very important that we take note of that, because Africa and Nigeria is a young nation. And like I've told most of my friends, most of the problem we're facing now in the next 5 to 10 years, we'll find out that these current problems are not even problems compared to the problems we are going to be facing as a nation. Now, it's very, very important that we begin to create a system of hope in the heart of these young Nigerians in regards to politics and development across all strata. So about Nigerian democracy and the system, I've found out that we are high on rhetoric, but shallow on execution and implementation of strategies to work out, the development of a nation. I also found out that we lack sound strategic balance between politics and economic development. We play too much politics to the detriment of economic development. We also exhibit low value standards of integrity, transparency, fairness, and personal conduct, and also public office performance. So in a country like Nigeria, politics has become a business. It is no longer about carrying out a function. So you find currently there are youths who think their business is to go into politics. Why? They will see it as a system to go and make money instead of as a system to go and serve. So we exhibit poor social skills needed to mobilize support across ethnic and tribal boundaries. So we often invoke tribal sentiments to gain or maintain power. We also lack decision-making, monitoring, and we lack what it takes to evaluate policies. So it's very important that we begin to redefine what we call democracy in this nation to this generation. And if what we are going to be selling to my generation is the current definition on ground, then we have a lot of work on our shoulders. Before I round up, I'll just have to pinpoint some of the solutions I outlined. One, we have to introduce a specific culture, a mindset. We have to unlearn most of what we have known going forward. We have to relearn, we have to create a system to re-educate our generation. We have to intentionally create a culture that will reshape our values, that will strongly influence how we view the world. We have to train ourselves to understand that political leadership is more of a servant leadership structure and not an avenue for someone to come and carry out his personal agenda. We have to create a system of social reformation, and this must be introduced. A strong emphasis placed on values, on ethics of diligence, faithfulness, discipline, production, excellence, service, love, patience, honor, and order. We must create a system that will train and equip our generation to provide first world standards of services. So we have to re-educate and reorientate our people, this generation, with the help of schools, communities, centers, and social organizations, and get our people to change their third world mindset and habits. And finally, we must eradicate an aid-dependent mentality. This is one of the things that is crippling our generation. I have the privilege of communicating with a couple of youths, and I found out that a lot of these youths have ideas, mind-blowing ideas that can literally bring about the reformation of a nation. But because there is no structure to give them hope that these ideas can be worked on, implemented, they have literally given up on themselves and they're looking for menial jobs. They can't deploy themselves anymore. So it's very important that we create a system that will eradicate the aid-dependent mentality and put these youths to work. Like I said, if you don't train and equip youth to solve problems, they become problems. So I have a lot of things to say, but because of time, I will have to stop here and listen more to what most of the solutions that most of the leaders here are proffering. So thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. God bless Nigeria. God bless ADC. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. God bless Nigeria. God bless ADC, and God bless Simon Peters. Thank you. So we have no time to waste. We'll go ahead. We have very limited time. Special remarks by our Councillor Adedamola Aminu. is Councillor Adedamola Aminu with us, a lecturer, former mayor of Lambeth, former chairman and Association of British Nigerian councillors in the UK. Adedamola Aminu. Are you here, sir? Okay, so I think we have some absentees.
He's here. I exported him already.
Ah, okay. Go ahead, sir.
You're mute. You're mute, sir. You have to unmute the microphone.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Good evening, all, and thanks for inviting me to give a brief remark. I'm going to stand on the existing protocols so that I don't waste more time. And I'd like to elaborate on one of the points that Honorable Colin mentioned earlier on at his introduction speech about having a shadow cabinet to take governments to be accountable. I think in Nigeria, after election, I believe all the other opposition parties go to sleep. And they forget that, okay, politics is not one day or on the day of election alone that you have to do politics. It's throughout the day, throughout the year, until the next election. And if you don't have a credible policy in place or a spokesperson, like a shadow cabinet to actually take government to be accountable, then nothing is going to be achieved. So that is one of the things we need to have in Nigeria, to have people in place who will be a spokesperson for different areas of economy, finance, education, health, infrastructure, and so on and so forth. So if we have people in place like that, when governments are doing something that we don't really think they are doing right, then what is alternative credible policies we have as a political party to bring to the people that, okay, this is our alternative policy in this area. And doing that, that will actually help people to understand what the party stands for and what individual representative of the party is there to talk to people. Again, my Honorable Gandhi mentioned something about the alliance. Yes, we cannot work in isolation. And we all know that the two main major political parties in Nigeria, APC and PDP, we cannot say they fail us entirely, but all we can say is that they try their best, but it's not good enough. And not only the two, we go back to democracy in Nigeria. Even before then, Nigeria is 60 years plus now. Up to today, we don't have good electricity in Nigeria, no good schools, everything is just going down, no good medical care, bad infrastructures, and so on and so forth. So they've tried their best, but it's not good enough. And now it's time for change. And if ADC is going to be the change that people want, then we need to make sure that we are responsible, we are visible, coming up with credible policies that people can buy into. Now, okay, if we have to change, then we have the credible people in place. And when I'm talking about credible people, is that whatever candidate or people we are going to put forward, we don't need to wait until maybe about a few months before election, before we start, saying, okay, this is our spokesperson in this area or that area. People need to know them. They need to be able to read their profile, know that, okay, these people are the people that are not corrupt. They are credible people. And wherever they are coming from, they've achieved a lot. That, okay, we can present ourselves to people in Nigeria. And I keep on saying that not everybody that comes from the diaspora is credible or they have knowledge. Then we need to find out what is their background, what education, qualification they have, work-wise, whatever, community engagement, whatever they've done, where they're coming from. So for someone just living in abroad doesn't give them automatic rights to say, okay, they are better than people in Nigeria, because there are a lot of credible people in Nigeria. I can tell you that. And those who have done a lot, when they put their CV down, then you're going to shake your head, okay, so these people have done this and that. So we need to bear that in mind, that we need to strategize, identify the credible people from the diaspora and also in Nigeria as well, that we need to work together. I'm still really surprised that today we are having this meeting. I don't see a lot of members from the diaspora, from Nigeria, logging in to be part of this movement, because if we are working together as one, I believe a lot of members in Nigeria should be able to log in today to hear what the ADC diaspora is organizing and what we are discussing or what we are debating. So we need to work on that to make sure that whatever we want to do in future, we make sure that the members in Nigeria also key into whatever discussion we are having. That is very important. Ambassador Joseph Ayologu mentioned that we need to challenge the politician that the Nigerian politician, they want our money, but they don't want us in government. Yes, because we allow them to treat us like that. Because when they come here, we give them red carpet reception, welcoming them, running after them. But at the end of the day, when it comes to actually making use of the talent from the diaspora, they don't want us. And because we are not asking them the right question, challenging them, what they are there for, are they representing us? And I think some people mentioned about the diaspora voting. I remember there was an interview I did in Nigeria, probably around 2010, about the issue of diaspora voting. And we're still on it up till now. Nothing has been done that much that would actually give us the opportunity from the diaspora to be able to participate or vote during the election in 2023. So the Senate, the Rep, and Co, they are all dragging their feet on that. Okay, logistic, it's going to be difficult, it's going to be this and that. But believe me, I don't think it's going to be difficult because there are a lot of African countries that they allow their diaspora to vote from abroad. And as I've said in the past that, we have a sizable number of Nigerians politicians in the United Kingdom, where we can actually oversee and manage that election. If either they want it to be at the High Commission or at a town hall, the resources is there, we have the people there to do it, and then my Association of British Nigerian Council can be part of that to make sure that in every local government in the UK, we can actually get people representative there to actually, work with the INEC representative when it's possible to do that. So these are the things we need to look into to do that. I've talked about us that we are now, when the Nigerian politician comes to UK, we don't actually engage them in terms of what we want forcefully enough. Because all we do is that we want recognition, we want to be sure that, okay, they see us at their event, and then they come, they go back, and then they do nothing that benefits us from the diaspora. So we need to change that and making sure that our voice is heard. Then again, after election, every political party needs to do something we call SWOT analysis. So what is our strength? What went wrong? What are the opportunities there for us? This doesn't happen in Nigeria. So we need to start looking, how do we get power from these two main political parties in Nigeria? Is to then start thinking about what is our strength. We know we don't really have that much money they have, but the only way we can work strategically is to actually have a candidate in place from day one after the election. Now, okay, for this election, we have someone who's representing different states, level, either as a governor, Senate, Rep, and even local government chairman position as well. So these are the things we need to have in place. Not until when it's about a few months before the election, they start, candidates just springing up left and right that people don't even know anything about. They've never had them, they don't know where they're coming from. So this is not going to help us at all coming next election. Again, I'm not sure that we know that in Nigeria, election for state and local government is not conducted same day in Nigeria. So we need to have a calendar of elections in Nigeria, because I know maybe in Anambra, maybe they are having election very soon, or maybe a few months ago. Ondo State, Ogun State, and Oyo State, and some other states have election at different times. So if you don't have a candidate in place, how do we put candidate forward for election in those states? That is not done at the same time when we have the general election for presidential election in Nigeria. So that is key, that we don't have to wait until then before we start putting our house in order. So having that election calendar is very, very important so that we know when each state is having their election. And since we are not only vying for the position of president, House of Rep, and Senate, then all the other positions, we need to make sure we are prepared for everything that we need to do. I know I'm running out of time. So that is my own short speech in terms of way forward, and we need to engage with the Nigerians in Nigeria as well, and so that they can be part of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's Councillor Adedamola Aminu, a lecturer. He has given us his own take. Thank you so much, Councillor. So we move on. Please, I once again announce that you, for this section, please follow the time frame, 5 minutes. 5 minutes for you to make your submission. Please follow the time frame so we could end up on time too. We are going on with ADC media relationship in the era of social media. We have our special guest here, Mr. John Anoya, communication consultant, a communist, the founder and president of Truth and Peace Development Network Initiative. Mr. John is speaking on media relationship in the era of social media. Mr. John, are you there? Yes, on mute. Go ahead.
Okay, good evening, Your Excellencies, Honorables, and ladies and gentlemen. I was speaking on this subject of the media and the social media for ADC, Diaspora Network, and ADC at large, globally. So our attempt to, talk about the things we need to do to position ourselves rightly as a political party in Nigeria, considering the fact that we have two formidable parties already in Nigeria. Come with me to the war room, because after all the talks, we have to war this thing out, fight it out with them on the media front. Those are the backstage, back office, and those in the front office. The media is in front office, and a very serious tool we'll use to fight at least these two formidable parties, be able to convert our people in Nigeria to the ideals of our own political culture. We are conscious of the fact that we have these political parties in Nigeria, APC and PDP, who have held the realms of power and leadership for so many years now, and yet they've not delivered. Can you hear me? Sorry, I forgot to bring this down. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, better.
Okay,
it's better now. Yes.
Okay, it's better now. Okay, sorry, I forgot to bring this down. So it's a battle really to war from the media front, where the space is a space where the pen is mightier than the sword. And so we're going to be looking at it from the point of, our focus will be our organization, which is the ADC as a political party. We're going to look at it as a product, as a brand, as a packaged properly to be acceptable, perceived properly, perceived by the people, because we're talking to people. It is the message we have, the people, and the media. These are three critical areas of focus: the message, the media, and the market. The market is the people, the consumers, whom we're going to be talking to. So if we look at this, what we must do is that we must develop the right content. We must have the right content and be able to talk to the right public, segment our publics, give the right message to the right public, depending on who they are. We may have professionals, we could have artisans, we could have the youths, we could have Christians, we have Muslims, different. We segment these publics and send the right message to each of these public at different times as is appropriate. Now, if we move from there, we'll have to communicate exactly what our position is. We have ideologies as a party. What is our ideology? What's the focus? Yes, we know that we are a party of honorable men who have dignity, who can be trusted. But do Nigerians know that we are? Do people in diaspora do they even know that we are? We have to find a way of sending this message across. APC came with their own story of change at next level. For me, that's very ambiguous, fraudulent, and deceitful. I think we should come with a clear message to Nigerians and to all of us in diaspora that we are giving Nigerians back their life, because Nigerians don't have their life. We are giving them back their rights. We don't have our rights today. We have a constitution that is nothing. Nobody recognizes. If anybody is mighty or strong or wealthy, he does to another person whatever he thinks is right. So we must restore rights. We must restore life, and we must restore our country. And how we're going to do this? We're going to start by telling Nigerians that we're going to provide leadership and service. Today, I consider that we don't have leadership in Nigeria. We have rulers, we have masters who are slave driving orders. And that we should make clear from our own position as ADC that we are providing leadership, not rulership, not ruling or lording over others. We're going to lead and serve Nigerians. Now, what these people have, have succeeded with over time is what I consider lies and, again, propaganda. We're going to be talking from the point of truth. Honorable Collins spoke earlier and talked about the fact that a lot of things they've said to us are incredibly flawed. They are false. They are not. There's no truth in them. So we're going to be communicating from the position of truth, and we must be able to challenge, confront, and respond appropriately to every single thing anybody says in Nigeria, especially political leaders today. They make a position. We must, from the media point of view, respond appropriately. There is no reason why the president should make a statement and from APC, from ADC, we don't have something to say. We must have a response. We must have a response. We're going to bring in the element of propaganda. We're not going to say that because you're speaking the truth, we will not fight these people properly. We'll have to oppose them, confront them. And we're going to use propaganda to do this when the need arises.
Thank you very much.
Appropriate propaganda must be used.
Thank
is
you
a
very
tool
much.
that we must deploy
I want
to deal with the situation.
Honorable John, I want to bring you, yes, you made the very salient point. Because of time, sir, I know you have a lot to say, but because of time, and we still have so much to cover, please, my Honorable, thank you very much. So going on forward, speaking on the third force.
Mark, let's give him 1 minute to round up. It's always good that you give them.
I didn't know 5 minutes. Okay, so I'll just breeze through it. We're going to make our publicity subjects of projects, programs, and events. That's one thing. We must identify advocates, ambassadors, influencers, and evangelizers to tell our stories. They have to be in the field. Now we're going to deploy media channels. We have what we must do with the media itself, the conventional media, the traditional media. We must syndicate, create stories, and supply them quality information to use in their channels or newspaper titles. We must provide photo news articles and perhaps seek and get dedicated columns from them to be able to make our views heard. We must enjoy serious mention and it must be consistent. We must approach them and write them. Then coming down to the area of social media, we must begin to create serious content and get curators who will create whatever events that are happening, breaking news in Nigeria and even in diaspora, to continue to extend and tell more stories, interpret and analyze whatever it is from the social media front. We must have content, serious content, rich content, and we must have communities. The ADC Diaspora Network is a community. We have continents where we are. We must have communities, social media communities, depending on the platform that is enjoyed best or patronized best in those continents and in different states or cities. We must have communities, ADC communities, on different social media platforms that are connected to the global ADC media platform. The use of websites and others must be linked all together. The tonality of our message must be sequential, such that our signature to once I hear many adverts that people have created for us, once you hear the beginning, you will identify immediately that this message is coming from the ADC. It will help people connect easily with us and listen to hear what we are seeing. The social media channel is a very boisterous and robust one that we will use to continue to talk to different segments of the society. We will use every theory, social exchange network, social penetration network, and every theory possible practically to continue to reach them. We must be wary of crisis, because the social media itself is a point where crisis could be emanated depending on who is telling what story on such a social media platform, or what the story the person, whatever story the person is telling. So we need to use that platform properly to avoid crisis coming from those places, or crisis coming from our party members. We must watch out for personality crisis, identity crisis, accidental crisis, whatever form of crisis that could emerge. We must be able to nip them in the bud and respond appropriately. We must not shy away from speaking to the media people, visiting them, discussing with them, be they publishers, be they editors. We must cultivate their friendship and be able to work with them together. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, I wanted to put you off that this very good, knowledgeable insights and tips you've given to us. That's Mr. Honorable John Anoyem, a communication expert and founder and president of Truth and Peace Development Network Initiative. Thank you once again. So moving forward, please adhere to the 5 minutes speech frame, please, so we can cover up for the day. The third force, the youth and Nigerian future, is Dr. Osita with us?
Yes, he is with us.
Good. So we have with us Dr. Osita in America. Sorry, Chairman, Governing Council, Youth Together Global Limited Nations. He has the floor there. Dr. Osita, go ahead, sir.
You're on mute, sir. You're still on mute, sir. You're still on mute, sir. You can do that. Mark, please look as if you see whether you can unmute him.
Yes, I've done that. All he needs to do is tap on. Aha.
Yeah,
Voila.
You're good.
Okay, thank you. My name is Osita. I live in Abuja, Nigeria. Somebody said Nigerians are not participating. Of course I participate. This is where I belong. My focus is on third force, youth, and the future of Nigeria. This is very important to me because I'm a youth person. I've been working with youth for the last 25 years. And I begin with a story. There's a college in Lagos called Lagos State University. In the 1990s, there was student union elections. A 23-year-old man, a young boy, just 23 years old, was vying for the student union government leadership, like president of the union. There was an attraction to it because the student union controlled a chain of shops on campus, and there was a car and a driver tied to the office. To be able to vie for the office, this young man went to three court groups on campus and used each court to remove 3 contestants. Those were 3 opposition parties, 3 opposition students who were vying for the same office with him. He killed them. He took them out. He was 23 years old. That is the best definition you can give of youth in Nigeria. 2, 3. And he was sent to jail. The question is, if at 23, he could think of that, think of student union office with a car and a driver and a chain of shops where they can collect rent, what will he do when he leaves campus and joins the larger society? So the question is, ADC is third force, and third force gives them 2 very heavy load. One, there are checks on existing politics. There are checks on existing political parties, APC and PDP. And 2, they're a political party, which means that they are doing 2 things, 2 very heavy duty things. They'll be lifting weights heavily. So at what point do you begin to educate your young people on what you want them to do? and I think it is now. And this is very serious. Serious in the sense that you're going to be dealing with 4 aspects of a growing Nigerian who has been so disoriented. Mindset modification, you have to invest in that. You also be dealing with mentoring programs. You have to be dealing with monitoring programs. So these 4 M's, mindset modification, mentoring, and monitoring, are supposed to be your content. Yes, you are a party setting up for the big show. You know, you want to become ADC, like I see, already has a candidate in Anambra State, which I think is a very beautiful step, but it is also a party that is very loaded with work. When you call yourself a third force, 2 things occur to people. Are you there to transform or to take over? If your role is to just take over, what are you taking over for? Because the issue is, are you taking over just because you're interested in taking over? Are you taking over because you're just from diaspora? Because like somebody said, it doesn't really matter where you are from. It is the content of the person that is most important. So if you are taking over, if you are third force because you want a better Nigeria, this is where we all belong. So the idea is you begin now to invest in your young people, and the most important part is remove them from activism. This has destroyed them for now. When they call themselves activists, they go on the wrong side of the fence. They become troublemakers. They begin to use the word activism to cause chaos. Make them actionists. Give them action that would make them create change, the way change would be change for everybody. Also, make sure that you teach them that transformation is not immediate. Transition can be. So when they begin with their work, you mentor them in a way that they follow a catalog of actions that will bring them to where you want them to be. But most importantly, show them examples. The most important part that young people cry about today is that they don't even have mentors among politicians now that they can copy. I have worked with Kenneth Mandy, and I say to him all the time, when we sit down in a quiet and want to eat, or we're changing some points, or even we're drinking, I said to him, you strike me as somebody who is leading change, but I see you do all the work. That's the burden he bears, because he has not said to me anything, but my thinking is that he's been finding it difficult to find young people who will become successors now. So the most important part now is for ADC to begin to invest to bring these young people on board. Make sure you open your gates to them. The train has left the station with the locomotive. The only thing remaining now is to fill the bandwagon. ADC has launched. But if you stay where you are now all alone, stay just where you are now all alone, as ADC as a party, you're not thinking about a deliberate planned action to bring the youth in, you will end up like APC or PDP. Because the young people are waiting for examples. The young people are waiting for it to be shown what to do. And if you don't show them the right and sustain it, not just show them now and it's not sustained, you'll find that the people you want to lead are the people who are going to destroy you, because these young people have been so frustrated for a long time. They've been so lied to, they've been so disgruntled, frustrated, that they cannot change where they are. They want people to bring them up. Let me end with this. Mother Teresa said, we the willing, led by the unknowing, are doing the impossible for the ungrateful. We have done so much with so little that we are now ready to do anything with nothing. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was smooth. So we're still on it. First ADC Diaspora Network Global Party Congress. And bet you the speakers are all doing justice to the team. The team is Nigerian diaspora, Nigerian politics, state of the nation, global diaspora engagement, and today's date is September 25th, 2021. Thank you very much, Dr. Osita in America. Thank you. Beautiful.
Anyemeka.
Forgive me if I butchered the name. Great. So we're moving forward, and we have also with us is a youth leader, ADC youth leader, Barrister Morris. Are you there now? I saw you came in. Can you take your mic?
I think he left again, so let's continue.
Again. Oh dear. Okay. Moving forward, is a great personality with us also. One youth, one nation, one youth movement, and that's our very good friend, Honorable His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Favor Ayodele. Dr. Favor Ayodele is the initiator of Nigerian Voters Movement, a great movement that has been going around doing great things in Nigeria. Dr. Favor, are you there? Are you with us? Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Yes. Good evening, my powerful, distinguished excellencies, ambassadors, professors, doctors. This is amazing. I've been here since the beginning, in fact, before the beginning began. So it's a great privilege to be part of this amazing global influence of ADC. I must give it to our Honorable National Chairman and President of Mr. Nwosu, and then the great man in diaspora that is turning the world around, Mr. Kenneth Gandhi. Nobody has appreciated Mr. Mark Amos since. Let me use this opportunity to appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
It's a powerful job you're doing, and we really appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sorry, I wouldn't want to exceed my time because I'm a man of time, but I want to appreciate everybody that have spoken. Mr. Osita, thank you for the brilliant speech out there. Madam Iberi and Mr. Aminu, Professor, thank you so much. My little statement today, I think it is time for intentional leadership mobilization. And I believe that ADC has the capacity to drive the global shift. I just want to say that vote intelligence is going to be the title of my little speech. It's not going to be more than 2 minutes. And I will start by saying that true leadership is a responsive, functional, ideal mechanism with active brain. And that is what ADC is projecting. I want to celebrate you, Mr. Kenneth Gandhi, because if your brain is not active, there's no how you can put this in place. And the leadership of ADC, you are such a fantastic individuals that God has placed for Nigeria to be rescued from this menace. Nigeria is becoming derogatory, retarded element in the international perspective platforms, where it is expected to manage working capacities of human and socio-economic device by political capital. What we have presently, you agree with me that is an appellation of disdain futures with no value against our collective intelligence. That is why it is very and highly important, and as a matter of urgency, to choose a credible and sustainable platform with clean records and analytical catalysts for Nigeria to come out of a global embarrassment. One of the things that is making ADC to be outstanding is because they have clean record. And when I was invited by my honorable friend Kenneth Gandhi, I would not, and I cannot, and I will not hesitate to be joining these influential individuals that God has placed, and the name called ADC. Thank you so much, my friend. The vote of Nigerians, people in diaspora, The vote of Nigerians matters, and it will surely be so if we do not in any way lose our hope in ourselves. This is not the time to abandon what we have by blood and sand worked for over 60 years of independence, but to stand up and fight a good fight of faith. Fellow Nigerians, our responsive beliefs on votes will determine Nigeria's definition and repositioning. And this is a time we must begin to think towards this arena. What do we really want as a nation? If not, please note this. What do we really want as a nation? If not a working institution with relatable, dependable, sustainable people's policies, where everyone can have equal access to their needs. My brothers and sisters, ADC in diaspora, every life matters, and concern is important for a definite solution. We are going to be creating solutions as from now onward. We are not going to be talking about problems of Nigeria. Even the baby, even the fetus in the womb can address and give you the problem of Nigeria. So what am I trying to say is that now let's talk about, in 30 seconds, about this vote intelligence. Going through election process without proper monitoring device, both human and non-human, is suicidal. If we must take over the leadership and the aspect of electionary process from the ends of APC and PDP, we must create mechanism that we monitor our election. That is why they said, vote don't count. But this time around, your vote must count. My vote must count. We have drones, we have intellectuals, we have professionals that can deploy this, that will monitor and begin to view every area. And by so doing, let me see that INEC that will not cooperate with our cooperation. Diaspora must as well, or let me just say, diaspora can influence through phone call on their families to engage in voter registration, electioneering, and possibly who they should vote for and why they must vote. So if you cannot come from diaspora, you have to pick your call, load your card, and begin to call your family member. No more PDP, no more APC. You can do that. Buy them phone. Let them go to the polling unit. Let them stay there. Let them vote as well. Let them collect their voter's card. If ADC, for example, is 1 million, times 1 million times 5 people in a family with 1 million. Do you know how much is this? So if ADC is 10 million, use that as a PowerPoint to make it, to expand it by telling the family. I don't want to spend much time, but I want to say that we will be enemy of ourselves if we do not engage in bitterness, or let me say, if we engage in bitterness rather, against our collective efforts because of wrongdoing of a particular man or tribe. See, we are bigger than Mr. Bubu. Nigeria is bigger than Fulani. Nigeria is bigger than one tribe that is terrorizing. How many are they? For crying out loud, 6%, terrorizing 94% of Nigerian population. That is too lugubrious. It's a slap on our face if we cannot stand up and get it done democratically by our vote. It is time. Let me finish with this and run up with this. Electronic voting and participation of the diaspora are possible. This is very possible. Let me say that if I'm not one of the 1 to 5 individuals in Nigeria that started electronic voting, I will be 1 to 20 throughout the federation that is projecting diaspora voting and electronic voting in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
God bless you. God bless
Dr. Favor. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Great speech from Dr. Favor Ayodele. That's a strong one. Our eyes are opening up. There's this awakening coming out of us as we hear these speeches. Thank you all for bringing this to us. So lastly, in this segment, we want to bring in our very good friend, one of us, Stephen Adeoye. Stephen Adeoye is the CEO of Soringa, and he's into agricultural activities here. Stephen Adeoye is speaking on ADC, Arise and Shine. Let Nigerians in diaspora and Nigerians see the light. Stephen Adeoye, are you there? You're welcome, sir. Take the mic and let's shine with you. Go ahead, Stephen. Chair, is Stephen there? I don't think I'm seeing.
Yes, he's there. He's there.
Okay.
Please, sir, your mic is your mic.
Okay. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you for this great. I love you. Well done. I'd like to salute the great minds and what has been said. It's very difficult to be the last speaker anyway. And I'm really very honored to be here. Thank you, Honorable Chairman, Dr. Nwosu. Thank you, Honorable Vice Chairman, my brother, the one I can always mention his name, even in my dream, my brother, Kenneth Bandy. Thank you very much for the opportunity you give to us all. And at the same time, the idea of you and the chairman bringing ADC to be the 7th zone is just amazing. You see, ADC have broken so many records, and one of them is the ADC-DN. I salute your courage, Chairman Nwosu. I salute your courage, Vice Chairman Bandy. My topic is ADC-DN, Arise and Shine. Let Nigeria in diaspora and in Nigeria see the lights. African Democratic Congress has been breaking many records in recent years by shining light into different areas that have been neglected by our leaders for decades. However, with this record-breaking achievement of ADC, we are yet to see the efforts translated into votes in favor of our party since 2007. Just like in business, you can only judge the success of a party by those who vote for it. The votes counted in favor of ADC presidential candidates since 2007 election till date were between 30,000 to 100,000, which is 0.1% to 0.36%. 5 ADC Senate members were elected in Oyo State. No ADC governor candidate is elected up till now. Other major parties like African Progressive Congress, APC, and People Democratic Party, PDP, are way ahead of ADC in millions. The question is, how can ADC be better at capturing the tremendous demand for civil engagement? My answer is simple. We have to become indispensable organization that provide indispensable services to our people. We have to rebrand ADC as a party of the people in the grassroots, marginalized, women, youths, and the physically challenged in 36 states and FCT Abuja. Why? To have a clear understanding on the reason for targeting the groups mentioned, let us look at of the Independent National Electoral Commission 2019 that is on the screen. In conclusion on that, what is on the screen, you will notice that only 35% of the population turn out to vote. Now, according to the UN statistic, 64% of the Nigerian population are youth. between 18 and 40 years old. So let's do the calculation. If 64% are youth, and all those we have that are participating in the election is 35%. Imagine what that parity is. We're missing somewhere. We have to target this group and make them realize that, in fact, party is not disenfranchised from the other. The mission of ADC should entail the following objectives: making the party indispensable to society. Number one, to become the Greenpeace for social justice, effectively promoting a progressive agenda, starting redistribution and tackling inequality. For political parties, getting out of the building means sending as many party activists as possible to engage directly with citizens at their doorstep to conduct a qualitative field survey, redistributive policies. Number two, to launch a war machine to increase voters' turnout in the long run. Another idea will be to send politicians to schools in low turnout areas and have them explain why they engage in politics and why it matters to them. It should not necessarily replace more formal civil education classes, but provided a more personal perspective on the political engagement, starting with voting matters. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, becoming an incubator for people who want to have an impact in the society is part of our duty in ADC. When the party ADC become a successful incubator, not only will it be as more indispensable, but it will also send a great signal to those who think politics is disconnected from reality, since it will have many examples of actual and positive impact on the people's life. In conclusion, we cannot leave the job of recruiting new members to the party leaders alone. Each member must be involved in recruiting new members to our party. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Hard, really rising and shining. That was Stephen Adeoye speaking on giving us the data and logistics and ways of going about it. Somebody wrote something that caught my fancy on the group chat. Somebody saying that it's time to stop the talk and go into the villages, that the people are poor and the people are illiterate. But I have this to say, it is every good engagement begins with a talk. Every good engagement begins with what we're doing today. So what we're doing here is vital. What we're doing today is not a joke, and it makes so much sense. So those writing on the group chat, you can't make a change by just bumping on people. You have to negotiate, talk, engage, and you have to draw plans, draw designs, sit down and arrange how you engage with the people. You can't just go on them. So please, this is for the group chat. I see people writing. This brings us to the end of this segment, the short speeches. Now we're going to our reports. Report from the ADC-DN Continental Executives. We have ADC is broken down into the different continents, and we have reports coming from each of those continents. So to begin the reports, I'm bringing in our great friend and brother, Honorable and Dr. Fatoye Olufemi. He's the chairman of ADC Africa. Is Fatoye Olufemi with us?
Yes, he's with us.
Great. All right, sir. Go ahead, sir.
I hope I'm trying to find him. He was with us throughout.
Yes, he's with us. He's there.
Yes.
Yes.
I was struggling to unmute myself. Yes, good evening, everybody. My chairman, Chifu, our chairman too, Honorable Bandi. I'm talking from Africa. representing ADC members in Africa. We really want to say one or two things, and I believe my other brother too is here, Mr. David Ogene Abraham. We have been working behind the screen, particularly in the area of mobilizing members to join us. If we look at all the continent of the world, Nigerians in Africa, I believe, there are more than any other Nigerians in other continents, which we, most of the time, we look down upon. But with the introduction of ADC-DN, we have been able to identify 3 countries for now. We have membership in Lesotho, we have membership from Sierra Leone, and membership from Cote d'Ivoire. But all along, what we have been advocating for, we don't want people who will be so active on WhatsApp platform. We want to ensure that all our members, they are officially registered with ADC. So that is where we want to start from. Though we keep on a daily basis or a routine basis to share the link where they can register so that they will know that they belong to us. Secondly, we want to have an expanded meeting. Maybe towards the end of the year, we want to see how now we are operating on WhatsApp platform, but we want to bring ourselves together to talk to ourselves so that we'll be able to do 1 or 2 things for the party and on behalf of the party. This, we are looking towards the end of the year, we will strategize and communicate what the plan is all about to the leadership of the ADC-DN. So for now, this is just the update that we have, but we keep on strategizing to ensure that we have established membership in virtually all the countries of Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much, Dr. Fatoye Olufemi. That was a good situation report. So we go on to the ADC-DN America North, Engineer Solomon Okonta, Continental Vice Chairman, North America, Canada, Quebec region, and also Board of Trustee of ADC. Engineer Okonta, it's up to you, sir.
I can't find him. He left the system. He was trying to communicate that he's having a technical hiccup. Okay. But he said he's going to come back, but I can't still find him. So I'm not sure if he's on the screen again. Otherwise, we skip up. The same thing also with, I think the North Americans are finding it very difficult to, maybe because of the time differences. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to come back.
Is the South American South also there?
He was, in fact, I saw him on a medical doctor's a uniform a few minutes ago. He mentioned that he's actually is on theater, and will try to find out time to make his own brief presentation, but he seems to have disappeared from the screen. So I guess probably he's back to theater. So we can probably excuse him. So what I will do, Honorable Mark, if you allow me, is just to to make a summary of what we have done. What we have done in continental America. We are no doubt having a challenge in having a very, very robust American diaspora network. Probably we're too much optimistic that America, we're supposed to be the leader of the free world. We actually, lead the African Democratic Congress Diaspora Network. But based on our, meeting and the suggestions to create the Continental Vice Chairman, we've been able to, to create a further vice chairman for North America, South America, especially the Canada areas and Quebec areas. And they've been doing extremely very well. Our South American Dr. Ethan. Ethan has actually been a very, very solid force on both the diaspora stakeholders, American diaspora stakeholders, Europe, where he has seriously defended the opposition about the ADC, Diaspora Network, and the need for the diaspora to stop complaining and join hands with them. The North American counterpart, Engineer Solomon Okonta, who is actually by accident, by incident, the PRO of one of the strongest diaspora network in Canada. Is called Edo Indigenous and Friends. He's their PRO, and we've been invited to make a presentation on Edo and Friends in Canada and Quebec. And just like our distinguished chairman, keynote speaker, Collins, Honorable Collins Nweke mentioned, we have a lot of diasporans who are basically sitting on the fence, so to say. I had Mark saying sitting in the fence. I don't know if he's sitting on the fence or sitting in the fence, so I'm not an English student, so forgive me, whichever one that is the correct denomination. So we are expecting, them, to come on board and, and help us, to fill up the gap that we're waiting. And I like what Collins Nweke said also. It's not about ADC as a party or about ADC-DN as a diaspora party, but the ongoing in Nigeria has a kind of demotivated a lot of people. And I think that's the work Honorable Stefan Adeoye actually mentioned, that it's time for us to put our boots and get back to work. Yes, we are doing our best. We cannot say we're not doing our best. Probably our best is not good enough. And so we'll keep up we'll keep up doing our best, and hope that our request, as a matter of fact, our national chairman is here, and so I will not let the America off the hook. I will expect that Engineer Solomon Okonta and Dr. Ethan Nicholas Abioduka, they should send their report by before the end of today, and we should be able to forward that to the national chairman. I think we shouldn't have that as an excuse because of work-related issue not to be able to send in their report. So I hope they will send their report before the end of today, and we'll be able to to send it directly to the vice chairman. So I will leave it at that now. Honorable Mark. The same thing applies for the Middle East. Victor Ikoli, I have not seen him here this evening, but I know he's in Nigeria. He said he's in Nigeria on a vacation with his family. He made mention that the network has been a challenge, including Ambassador Tony also Tuklan, who is also with us here, but he has been from Nasarawa to Delta, and he has been having issue with his network program, though he's, I think I've seen him a couple of times flashing in and out of the network. And so they are currently in Nigeria because of family vacation, and had hoped to join us from there. I will also demand that they send their report before the end of today, so that we can forward it to the national deputy chairman, national chairman, sorry, of our party, and they should also send it to their vice continental leaders also to be able to make an input and forward it to us. So I will probably permit the national chairman to accept that that's a flimsy excuse for them not presenting their report, especially when you're here physically present. But I can assure you that before the end of today, they'll be able to send in their report, per online. I will be able to forward that to you. We have David also here. David also, who is actually the deputy, the continental vice chairman for Africa. He posted on the forum that he's actually, because of a jet lag, I don't know whether he's still with us. He wanted to log out before time, but I can still see him on board. So I don't know if he's there to give us a remark on the coordinating work in Oceania and the Oceania region. David, I don't know if you're still with us. I can see you on the screen. I don't know whether you are still able to say one or two things. Otherwise, we are going to also expect that you send us a report, which will forward to the national chairman at the end of the day. Are you there with us? Can you speak? Is David?
I think he's also having a network issue.
Okay. All right, I can still see him there. So if it's in the absence of that, I will be glad, Mark, if you give me the privilege and the honor to introduce our national chairman, which is going to be the highlight of today's event.
Yes, sir.
I think Honorable Collins, who is our key speaker, captured everything that one actually needed to say about ADC. that ADC, Diaspora Network, is not an ADC as it's always not an accident. The hands of the man who actually introduced the Diaspora Network, seeing the need of the diaspora to get involved, was Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. And it's this Chief Olusegun Obasanjo is the father, if I might allowed to say that, the father of ADC, when he declared that ADC as the third force. So you can see from the key, I see Collins is smiling, so I hope I didn't quote him wrong. So I think you can see that there's a hand of God in that. And as Honorable Stefan also, summarizing his powerful last speech, he said that it's like a miracle. It's like the hand of God. For Chief Ralph led Chief Ralph Okey Nwosu led the National Working Committee and the African Democratic Party to have seen the diaspora, the worth of the diaspora, and have created the 7-zone diaspora network. I think I will agree with the last speaker also. I think Mark, when he said that building a nation building is a process. It's not something you press a button and you get there. It's been tough. Yeah, it's been very, very difficult. But I think we've been on that process. And I concur with every speaker here that the Diaspora Network has come to stay. The ADC as a party has come to stay in the diaspora. We only need to do the needful and get on that. So I think I use the opportunity to thank, I'm not giving a remark, but to thank Honorable Stefan, to thank Dr. Osita Nemeka, to thank Collins Nweke, and all our distinguished beauty, Aminu, and the rest of them for giving us the powerful things to go out from now. So we now go back to the highlight of the day, which is the address by our distinguished national chairman, Chief Ralph Okey Nwosu, the dynamic leader who have seen the worth of the Diaspora Network to be able to include us in the 7th zone. So Chief Ralph Nwosu, it's my pleasure, my honor on behalf of the Diaspora Network with a resounding clap and shout, and which you cannot see because we're online, to ask you to please take your remark, take your special address as we introduce you to Diaspora Network today. Thank you, sir. Please kindly take the floor, sir. We can't hear you, sir. You're on mute, sir. We can't hear you, sir.
Okay. All right. His Excellency, the Deputy National Chairman, Diaspora Network of ADC, His Excellencies, the ambassadors, our keynote presenters, and distinguished colleagues. I want to appreciate you all. And the Diaspora Network of ADC has been particularly effective. You've been running different programs. What makes a party what it should be is when we are running different programs, at least showing the path to go. So I appreciate what we've been trying to do. Kenneth Bundy. The building is a very tough job, especially in Nigeria, considering the culture in place. The culture in place is not encouraging for missionary-minded people. I had somebody say, a lot of Nigerians get into politics because they see politics to them is a way to advance their business, not a way to plan for the country. Among the politicians we have now, the people who are thinking about planning for the country are less than 5%. The culture in place is, this is a place where you go, you become above the law. You can, you start to reap from the wealth of the nations without, without forms. That's the culture in place. Then where it relates for the grassroots, for instance, you want to get a lot of members, and then the members will come and you say, pay membership dues. They say, wow, in APC and PDP, they are dashing them money to become members. And people who are there are even getting some benefits. That in ADC, where there's nothing to benefit, you ask us to come and pay membership dues. And then I wonder, how can we make that change to happen? How can we get that change to happen? However, a lot of hope. I always see hope. I see hope seeing the event of today. I see hope when Honorable Bandi has come to Nigeria more than 3 times to host diaspora events. I see hope at times, even when Kenneth Bandi is a bit frustrated with what some diasporans are doing, and he calls me when we have our meetings or in any of our NWC meetings, he's complaining, these people are not complaining, these people are not complaining. For him to be observing that, that's hope, because that's the same Nigerian conversation. That conversation is happening here, it's happening there, but you know, the more we are taking note of it, we know that it exposes us to knowing the challenges. And once we see the challenges, the apathy, the hopelessness, the conundrum, kind of, you start to design the appropriate solutions. That's why I see hope. So I want to appreciate all of you. We've had some wonderful, I had only a bit of the keynote. I didn't get it all, but a wonderful presentation. And then all the other presentations, very, very good. I want to appeal to Honorable Bandi to possibly copies of those presentations. I would love to have them. Some guy presented on communication. That's how to communicate the brand. Very, very important. We are lacking in a lot of ways. We want to have input from everybody, and that's why all of us are building it together. Then I think somebody talked about youth strategy, on youth strategy. Osita and Yemena on youth strategy. Please, we would like to have that document. ADC is one of the parties that say we would like to see 35% youth and 35% women elected in the next by 2023. And ADC is already pushing for that. We've given that as a ticket. And when we present, that's no matter what happens, for all the legislative positions, House of Assembly and House of Rep and Senate, we are going to present 35% youth and 35% women. We must present it. We want to see in the next legislative assemblies, both at national and at the state level, a lot more women. And if you go there and count them, you will see that more than half of the women in all the houses are ADC. We've decided we want to do that. The other challenge we are battling with, you can present a lot of youth and a lot of women, and they don't have the resources to run the election. That means for the Senate, if we present 70 youth and women out of the 109 seats, we can present them. But winning that election is critical. Otherwise, our effort will come to nothing. Therefore, the last meeting we held, we were thinking of how do we raise money to support this, how do we raise money for elections, for women and for young people? Because we want to actually make sure that it happens. Not just that, that in paper we presented those numbers, and then in reality, none of them won. It doesn't help us. and we know the problem of the third force, or parties that are in opposition and parties that don't have members, that's executive governor, parties that don't have many people elected. There's a lot of challenges because the system in Nigeria is such that they are using my money and your money to run their parties and their elections, which is unfortunate. ADC will not like to tolerate that culture. We are not working to take over government, for instance, so that we continue the same culture. We must change it. That's why membership commitment is critical. If we have, for instance, if we have a total of, somebody mentioned 10 million ADC members. Let's say we have 5 million ADC members with about 20% of these members committed to paying their membership dues. It can go a long way. When 20%, which is about 1 million, when they pay their membership dues, 1,000 naira in a month, 1,000 times 1 million will give you 1 billion naira. If we're investing up to 20 million naira every month in the party, I bet you the brand will be good. Nigerians are tired of APC and PDP, but the third force is not coming to life because it's grossly underfunded, and people, because of the culture in place, are not responding well. So if we will work hard and we have 20% out of our 5 million paying their membership dues, I bet you we can build a very robust party that can challenge the status quo in every way. So, and when we now say we want to see our National Assembly have 35% women and 35% youth, and in this youth and women, the proportionate representation of diaspora, the proportionate representation of people living in PWD will also be there. That's one. So the effort is appreciated, but it's important when we are strategizing, we see where our serious problems are. If we're ADC, let's struggle to live by ADC-DNA. And while the diaspora, you are doing a lot of things innovative and so on, please, if we can work more on diversifying membership, who 1,000 naira a month may not mean so much to, but this 1,000 naira a month will mean so much to building our brand that can make any of you who want to run an election to be able to be supported by the party. But as at now, the party cannot support people who are in an election. When you don't have up to even 1,000 members who are ready to pay membership dues, not up to 1,000. But I want to appreciate you. I don't want to say much. The things that has been said, wonderful. Let's continue in that spirit, but let's try as much as possible to show example from diaspora, from the culture in the places where you live. Try to transport that culture into the modeling you are doing for Nigerians. I will appreciate that. I want to offline. I want to tell you what happened today. Today, my ward, not my state. I'm in the state now, Anambra State. You know, we're preparing election. I held a meeting with my ward. My ward is not my local government, but ward. We have about 9,000 wards in Nigeria. I'm from Ward 3 in Oka South, local government of Anambra. I held a meeting with the ward, and we had calculated that today we are going to do environmental sanitation. About 50 members of the ward went around on their t-shirt and this face cap across the constituency. That's the ward constituency. They cleaned up places, they did everything. After that, they spent time like preaching, talking to people who came out to see them. And they saw how ADC was living. It has the kind of example that we were showing up, and people were excited. After that environmental sanitation, they all came to my place to host them, because this is my ward, my immediate political constituency. They came, I hosted them, we had a lot of chat and so on, and I was asking them. In the process, we came up with, the political party, while it's a political party, and we talk about party power and so on, we now said that a lot of things can also happen. The political party in the world can be a cooperative. The political party in the world can be a social club. The political party in the world can have a business club, and so on. People coming together, they can talk politics, but we wanted to represent something special. So after we discussed, I told them that I don't want to impose anyone on them. I want them to fine-tune everything, that whatever idea they come up with, that I'm going to donate to them the first 100,000 naira for them to use as something. They even talked about maybe making monthly contribution where members who need help, need a loan for 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira, I can draw from the ward. I said, but go and fine-tune it. I don't want to be, because I'm the #1 person in the world, to be the one imposing it. Fine-tune what you want to do, so that outside there will be a lot of things there will be other things that are holding you together, even after elections, and so on. So they are doing that. That's what I'm doing in my ward now. And so I told them, when you finish, meet me when the documents are ready. I would give you the first 100,000 naira to do something. And each of you can donate whatever you want. We did that in the ward, and then so I see the idea working good, and so on. But whatever we model here in the ward, I'm going to take it to the national level, and so on. If it works, we see how it can do, and any of us can do the same thing in our ward. We can model certain things and throw it up to a big basket, and we'll filter it and see something that can hold us as ADC together, apart from just politics. I wanted to share that. As you all are aware, we are running a governorship election in Anambra State. I can tell you, I know we are finding membership mobilization difficult now, both in diaspora and even in Nigeria. But some people have met me, met with me about within the last 3 months. Some of them are trying to register political parties. They were not able to do that. But when I asked them, why are you wanting to register political party? They say, they have ideas, this and this. I said, since 1999, we have registered, INEC has a record of 119 political parties registered. As we speak now, how many are functioning? 18. Close to 100 has been deregistered. Before the last election, about 68 new political parties were registered by the year 2018. After the election, 70-something political parties were deregistered. So when I asked them, a lot of them are trying to fuse into ADC now. Going to register, the ADC we have registered, it has taken so much toll out of me and some few more persons who joined us since 2004 when we started the idea. If I tell you I've burnt billions of naira, and it has more or less bankrupted me, because I see myself as a missionary. Nigeria must work. If Nigeria works, it leverages all of us. That's what we're doing. And for most of you diasporans, I said, don't give up. We can't lose faith in Nigeria. We need that effort, sacrifice. 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 20,000, $50, $100, $200, throw it in. It will never be abused. That's why when I was told about this program, I was very happy because it shows the transparency, giving report. And when the different continents were giving report, I felt good. That's the transparency we need to give confidence to ourselves and so on. We can demand transparency from our local government, report from our state government, report from the national body at any time. That was why when we created the 7th zone, we made sure that we fitted that's all the stakeholders from the diaspora into the BOT, into the NWC, into the neck of the party. These are all the decision-making organs, and it's open. So I'm appreciating everybody, and as I said, if we win one, I don't know if I said that, but if we win one election, we are running out Anambra election now. If we are able to win Anambra election, I bet you a lot of Nigerians, because that's Nigerian psychology, they will say, the third force is now imagined, because Nigerians have been saying no PDP, no APC. So who is imagine? What is imagine? If ADC is able to win Anambra election, it will become easier for all of us. Some of us who want to contest election, some of us who are deep in this mobilization effort, and so on. And that's why, frankly, anybody who wants to see the ADC Diaspora Network become a lot more effective, and ADC Nigeria do well in 2023 election, we must start showing capacity in this election. We must show capacity in the Ekiti election. We must show capacity in the Oceania election. All of this will come before 2023. And if we show our strength now, it will help us in Ekiti and in Osun. And it will help all of you who intend to run an election tomorrow. Therefore, I want to appeal to us. You had a meeting last time with the candidate for ADC. He's still running election. Whatever you can do to assist him, because if he does well, it leverages everything we are doing. So I'm appealing to you all to assist him directly. He's running election, he has his challenges. The other parties he's running with are being funded by either federal government, APC, or funded by the state government, APGA, or funded by more than 12 governors across Nigeria, that's PDP, and so on. So we cannot understand the challenges we are running under. Then I saw Simeon Peters, sorry. Simeon Peter, I think you're in Nsukka. Our candidate will be presented to a big church, Dominion City, where the deputy governor is a pastor in. All the pastors, about 500 pastors will be there to pray for them. The headquarters is in Enugu, and we will be in Enugu tomorrow by 8 o'clock. So if Simeon Peter is in Enugu and you can join us, it will be wonderful. I want to thank you all. It's been a wonderful experience. Let's deepen what we are doing, and I assure you the great result will come. Finally, the NCF, Nigerian Consultative Forum, have concluded all plans to adopt ADC as their political party. Anytime soon, that announcement will be made. I think they've been playing with the media, throwing different things into the media, and so on. As you know, any due diligence you do in the country as to which party is best suited to be the third force outside PDP and APC, any due diligence will pinpoint ADC. That's why Obasanjo, when he finished this, pinpointed ADC, and now this NCF are concluding their program, and they've also pinpointed ADC. Thank you very much. I think I've given some accountability also. But if you want any particular question you want me to deal with, I'll be happy to also deal with that. God bless all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our distinguished dynamic chair, Chief Dr. Ralph Okey Nwosu. I mean, the impression I always have from diaspora is that you are too humble to be a politician. But that's actually what we want to see in Nigeria: a leader, a servant leader, not as a Mark or who said it, who call it for us, people who are lording over us. And we will continue to follow your footsteps. Like every other person who have said, one of the reasons why I decided to join politics in Nigeria is because of your humility. And I did not regret it. You have showed a good example. And I think it was Collins who mentioned that, or Ian Log who mentioned that, His Excellency, that we are lacking mentorship in politics. But I think we have seen you as a mentor for us in politics. And when I speak on behalf of many diasporas who also share the same with me. Thank you so much, Chief Ralph Nwosu. And we hope to join you in the burial of your dad, in the celebration of life of your dad. While we also talk about ADC, we won't forget that you're also a human being with blood and flesh, doing all you can for this great country. Thank you so much. We have spent so much time, Chairman. Permit me, sir, to say that we have 3 ratifications to do, or permit me to tell that on behalf of the African Democratic Congress Diaspora Network, that we have actually adopted a working document, which we actually have been using before now, but we wanted to put it on an official program for the Congress so that it can be on record. We also adopted the ADC-DN worldwide leadership that has to do with the different continental bodies and their continental vice chairperson. We also adopted specifically the appointment of continental vice chairperson, like we mentioned there. This will be in the report where we're going to send to you. So permit us to send those reports to you, as well as other reports that we have to send across to you. On this note, sir, we have spent so much time, more than we actually require, but you can see that it's been a very worthwhile, as so many of us are still glued to our computers, even those of us who are working. On this note, I will have to call Barrister Favor Obi, who is one of the most very formidable politicians in UK, and has not minds what to identify with ADC. As a matter of fact, she's our legal advisor, both on European level and on continental level. I will call on Barrister Favor to please give us a vote of thanks as we gradually close up for today. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Barrister Favor, are you there? We can't hear you. You're on mute. You're on mute, man. Yes, you are.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, man.
I'm going to be quick about this in order not to waste people's time. I hope we have thoroughly enjoyed this informative gathering organized by our great party. And on our first Global Party Congress. It is with great honor and my privilege to give this vote of thanks to all who made this event possible. Honestly, we would not have been here without the generosity of our great party. So on behalf of ADC-DN, an organizing committee, the executives and myself, I do like to thank our great party for this great platform and for the gathering of great minds. Our Honorable National Chairman, Sir Chief Ralph Nwosu, the Deputy National Chairman, Honorable Kenneth Gandhi, Your Excellencies, Ambassador Joseph Anyalogu, and Dr. Favor Ayodele. Honorable Collins Nweke, I wish to extend a very hearty thank you for honoring our great party and for taking out valuable time from your schedules to grace this wonderful occasion. We indeed celebrate and thank you very much. especially for your recommendations. Our special thanks to the key speakers, honestly, for your mind-blowing contributions. We have learned a lot tonight, and we are grateful to have you on board. And to our dear Continental executives and our sponsors and the entire organizing committee, honestly, you rock. To be honest, you rock. And to all our guests, everybody, the participants, everybody, we welcome you for sharing with us your important works, thoughts, and opinions. You are all warmly appreciated, and thank you so much. And we hope to see you again. And good night. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I have enjoyed myself this evening, honestly. And honestly, I am great to be here. And I've learned so much. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So on this note, greetings from the continental platform of our great party, African Democratic Congress, and greeting to our dynamic, indomitable chairman, Chief Okey Nwosu. You've been a pillar to Nigeria and to this great party. So I will say on this note, thank you for everybody for joining us. The recorded version will be shared online as soon as possible. Blessing from Hamburg. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sam. Good night. Bye.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you very much, Honorable Bandi. Thank you. Thank you for putting up this event.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye. God bless you.
Bye.
Bye.